Hello and welcome, adventurers! Today we're talking about Barovia and its beautiful landscapes. Sit down and listen. Vistani called Barovia under Tema, meaning both heart of the world and edge of the world. Barovia straddles the heart of Balanok Mountains in the south-central core. Historically, the realm's borders encompassed only the Balanoks and their surrounding foothills, stretching west beyond the mountains. It produces goods of only modest value to the outer world, but its location is strategically vital. Svalage Pass is the only way through the Balanoks, south of the Shadow Rift, and consequently, Barovia's stability is the key to fortunes of many south domains. The significance is easy to appreciate when one lays eyes on the Balanoks, with the highest peak of Mount Sawtooth about 7,500 feet. Within Barovia, the Balanoks are especially rugged and tortuous. The high pass is choked with the ice for 9 months of the year. Traversing the upper elevation requires proper equipment and an experienced mountaineer who knows the terrain, predators and avalanche possibilities. Barovians also point out endless stories about snow demons, frost spirits, ghosts of adventurers who did make it to the other side. Unfortunately, heavy traffic near the Balanoks also attracts more prominent threats of vampires and brigands to the foot of the Balanoks. In the south, the Bloodfang Hills stretch to the haunted forest of Forlorn. In the mid-6th century, goblin incursions were common, so von Zarviches ordered the construction of watchtowers along the frontier with Forlorn. Although still manned by a talking garrison from Imol, the towers have fallen into disrepair, and assignment to these Boogie Towers is one of the loneliest military details in Barovia. Svalage Wood is a small pocket of dense, old-growth beech fir forest in the Old Svalage Pass, surrounding village of Barovia. Many believe it to be reserved for Count von Zarvich's personal game, although it is not so. However, there are rumors of wolves larger than horses stalking those woods. Teporich Wood is called so from the Old Balok word meaning scarred, and indeed all trees in the forest show different scars, blight or galls. Once a part of Gundarak, the whole region has an evil reputation. Lumberjacks from neighboring Sideburn and Teufeldorf report the sensation of being followed and watched while they are in the woods. Nested in the heart of the Balanoks, just north of Svalage Pass, Lake Zarovich, Barovia's largest freshwater body. The lake has no outlet, and most locals hold that its depths drain into its very abyss. Catches of fish is plentiful in Lake Zarovich, and fishermen brave the bitter winds that blow across the lake's surface year-round, ice fishing in winter. Not so much in Lake Kresk, which lies in the northwestern Barovia. Most refer to it as the Lake of Veins, alluding to the faint wisps of maroon that seep into waters along the northwestern shore. Whatever toxin is leading from the tainted wood, it slays much of the lake's fish stock each autumn, choking the banks with rotting carcasses. Hardwoods, such as beech and oak, dominate Barovia's lower hill county, while mixed evergreens such as fir and pine tower in realms higher elevations. Green meadows proliferate in the dales, where short grasses and wildflowers sway amid clear brooks in warmer months. Barovians are particularly fond of lilac and daffodils that burst forth every spring. Vistani prize several Barovian plants. For example, bitterblot, a large pale green fruit related to Barovia's famous plums, has a weak, slightly tannic sweetness that prevents it from being cultivated widely. The Vistani value the fruit for divination. The oracle cuts the fruit in half with the most savage chop she can master, and if the pit breaks cleanly in just one strike, it is a good omen. Hunters also report deer, elk, wild boar, lynx, wildcats, red foxes, badgers, weasels, and grey wolves. Though verified wolf attacks on humans seem rare as in other lands, travel in Barovia is characterized by a perpetual sense of being stalked. Countless varieties of bat swarms regularly blot out the moon on otherwise clear nights. Strangely enough, plagues of wild rats also burst forth in Barovian countryside from time to time. During such occasions, vermin are sighted surging through the fields in horrific, squealing packs, where only fire can actually stop them. Of course, Barovia is well known for its vampire legends that are inseparable from Barovian identity. Tales of such creatures usually feature helpless maidens, dull-witted heroes, and occasionally historical boyars of wild reputation who are recast as vampires by peasant storytellers. Other undead creatures are spoken of fearfully as well, particularly flesh-eating ghouls, shuffling revenants, and mindless undead, said to serve powerful vampires. Lycanthropes are also common, though common folk often does not distinguish them from vampires. Other creatures are more obscure, but nonetheless deadly. There is Beguiling Bila, which tempts men to drown themselves, the blood-sucking crown, known as Nochnica, the orchid nymph, called Poludnica, which cuts off trespassers' heads, and the bizarre moth demon, known as Mar. The most significant highway in Barovia is the Old Svalich Road, that breaches otherwise impenetrable Balinox. The road connects Borka in the west to Novavasa in the east. Nearly every realm in the south utilizes the Old Svalich Road for the movement of goods. The highway is still smooth and broad, but it has begun to show its age, with crumbling stone and weeds peeking through cracks in places. Svalich Pass has a haunted reputation, and a few folk make their journey between Balaki and the village of Barovia at night, especially if they can help it. Perhaps the road's most noticeable features are the ancient gateways that stand at each end of the pass, stone archways with swinging gates of iron. An imposing pair of iron statues flanks each gate, 20 feet tall and covered in centuries of corrosion and bird droppings. The figures are hulking Barovian soldiers bearing huge warhammers. Their visage are hidden beneath helms, but the Fonzarich arms on their shields declare their allegiance. Though no longer used to control traffic through the pass, the gates have been known to open and shut of their own accord, seemingly without reason. The majority of buildings in Barovia are constructed in a typical and inspired brick and timber style, commonly observed through the core. The brick is usually plastered over, within and without, and then painted in a neutral earthen tones. The homes and shops on many streets alternate between deep russet and pale dun exteriors, resulting in a tidy, if bland, color scheme of the whole village. Roofs are thatched and constructed quite steeply, and the gables are often graced by tiny, leaden rose windows. Barovians are fond of decorating their facades of the buildings with colorful stones, especially those that glitter with bright mineral flecks of strange luster. These pebbles are pressed into the plaster in neat rows of decorative patterns and curls and florals. Numerous crumbling ruins predate Turk occupation of Barovia's countryside, and even a cursory examination reveals these distinct types of structures. Abandoned monasteries are found throughout the high elevations of Balinox. The Monastery of Silver Threads on Mount Varatak is one such sanctuary, thought to conceal fabulous treasures and prodigious secrets, not to mention undead shades. There are also mysterious stone circles, evidently prehistoric in origin, found in remote valleys and groves. Those circles lack the size of purposeful arrangement that characterize such monuments in realms such as Tempest, seeming to be little more than haphazard rings of Maris. Some Barovians attest to strong, if suspiciously vague and unverified, sensation of tranquility within those circles. So this is it for Barovia and its landscape. Tune in next time for history and people. But most importantly, remember, myths are not your friends.